A lot of the time when I talk to Fitpros, they want things to change, but they're not really willing to make changes. Now, I get it, change is hard, but if we're not willing to put in effort and sacrifice and actually make changes and then implement those changes and then do it over and over and over again until we get things right, then how can we expect an outcome to change? So in this video, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you some tools to show you to map out where your time actually goes. If we know where our time goes, then we can see what outcomes we're going to get. Because if we're spending all our time doing dumb things, we're going to get dumb results. But if we can get specific and clear around what actions and items we need to be doing, then it's quite easy to build our business up. So if you want your fitness business to grow, you need to know exactly where your time goes. So here's some practical things that you can do right now. 80-20 power grid. And if you're serious about actually making improvements on where your time goes, or you feel like you're not getting enough done, or you actually want to improve on the business in general, then this sort of stuff's pretty important. And you only need to do this sort of like once every month, once every 3 months, or something along those lines. But what we do is we track where our time goes for 7 days. Now, I first come across this, and I don't know if he created this or where this come from Sam Ovens, so credit due to him. This was like a big game changer for me as well, sort of see where the time goes and understand like where you are on the spectrum of how many hours, like your hourly rate versus where you want your hourly rate to be. So I'll explain how to do that in a moment, but I'll just show you these hourly rate setups, because most of you guys are probably somewhere around here in that $100 an hour sort of thing. You're solving problems for clients, you're helping clients with certain things, so you're somewhere along there, but you're probably trying to move into this sort of stuff here. So planning and organizing your day, like this sort of stuff all seems like less important, and it's the stuff that you probably know of, but you're not implementing and doing enough, because the shorter term ones, which is the minus $100 an hour, the $0 an hour, that are things like here we've got watching Netflix, scrolling through Facebook, watching random cats on YouTube, playing video games. Like, they make no money, but they don't necessarily negatively impact you. But then we have things like eating shit food, drinking alcohol, avoiding problems that needing fixing, and that's sometimes taxes and paying things that we're supposed to be paying that's causing us interest, losing money. And when it goes to drinking, eating shit food, it's the way we measure that of negative $100 an hour is because it impacts us from being able to do our $1,000 an hour, $100 an hour jobs. Because often if we've gone out drinking, eating bad food, we sleep in. So therefore we don't do the planning and all the things that are $1,000 an hour ones. But the other thing to be aware of is the $1,000 an hour, the $10,000 an hour, so on, a long-term goal. So it's not like if I plan tomorrow today, I'll get $1,000. It's the long-term play. If you want to be making $1,000 an hour, if you want to be making $10,000 an hour, we need to be able to do, have, and create these things here and be constantly working on them. Not doing these things here, and most certainly not playing in this area here. So that's the first thing to be aware of. So what you can do is you can go down here and actually just fill in some of the things that you do that are in these brackets. And you may have nothing in these areas here, and you might all be in here. But here's a list of some things that you could be working on now that are the $1,000 an hour ones. And if you don't know what some of them are, then the chances are you're not doing the $1,000 an hour, and therefore writing ad copy and sales copy and those type of things are probably things that we could be working on. So here's how I do this anyway. So if I click on here, all I've done is broken out some examples of my days and just been tracking it. And you can just track this on a piece of paper, but you can just write down some things that go on through the day: day 1, day 2, day 3, day 7, 1 hour and a half, half an hour, 4.5 hours, an hour. These are some examples: day 2, day 3, day 4, and then at the end of each day I'll just tally that up, say 24. But what you'll honestly find is you'll go 18. Because you'll put sleep in here and stuff as well. Obviously you're sleeping, eating, all that sort of stuff. But you'll notice you've got missing hours. So the key is as you go through this, is trying to identify like, well, where are these missing hours? And I guarantee they're sitting in here somewhere. They'll be, okay, I watched a little bit of Netflix, but I didn't watch that much. I was scrolling on Facebook and Instagram, but I wasn't doing that much. These things add up. And if you just think about that, if you're spending 2 hours a day that's missing and it's through here, imagine if you put that 2 hours a day into this here. You imagine the long-term ramifications and the long-term goals and the things that you can achieve by moving your time that's been wasted in these things here and bringing them over to here. Because that's the beauty of time. If it takes 4 hours to do this, Imagine putting 4 hours into this, and this is the stuff that no one has time for. This is the reason why most people don't get success. My clients, the ones that are doing the best, are the ones that not necessarily love doing this stuff, but they're disciplined and they get it done. And the other ones are sort of going in between here, trying to keep going onto this. But it's the sacrifice. It's the sacrifice today for a better tomorrow. That's the stuff here. That's what we need to be working on. Hopefully that was helpful, and hopefully now you know exactly where you're spending time, you're wasting your time, and what to put your effort in finite time actually into. So hopefully it was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.